Hi, Karen with you today. Thank you so much for joining me. I have a project for Kitaholic Kits and I'm using the December 2022 mixed media kit for my creation today. I just love these Vicky Bouton watercolors and I had an idea in my mind to create something off the page, and I'll give you a little bit more information about that once I've sort of given you a little bit of what I'm doing here to create with. So I do have a clear gesso piece of cardstock, and I've put some water into the palettes of paint, and I'm just, with my brush, just putting some paint all around the page, because my intent is I am going to cut this down into pieces and also use my punches. So I've got an idea that I want to create some trees, some Christmas trees in non-traditional colours, and these are going to form part of my Christmas decorating in one section of my house. So it was as simple as just throwing the paint on the page. It didn't matter whether and I loved how parts of it, because I'd used the gesso and there was a little bit of liquid, it sort of melded into one another and things like that, because I knew it was going to cut it up, so it didn't really matter. So what I did once that was all dry, I apologise, I didn't actually press. This took me a couple of days to pull this together, and when I sat back down, I got all excited when I saw the results of that pattern paper that I've created. I forgot to press play on my camera. It was sitting on the stand without it actually being turned on. So I'll describe to you a little bit of how I've created the trees. So I cut out some triangle pieces just from some spare cardstock and used them as templates. And then I got to punching out the pattern paper that I'd created. And then I've just stuck those pieces down into 3 of the triangles. And I've been able to, there's parts of the board, I use border punches. So I'm able to lift those sections up where the frilly bits are. I hope I'm making some sense. And then with the watercolors, I then painted some of a pink and a gold and a green tree, just to give some depth and direction around these trees to make it look like a lovely tree forest. Then I scrummaged through some of my old stash that I know I'm never going to use, but here we go, I'm using it. I found a box of like wood veneer albums and stuff like that. I have no idea how old it is. I don't even know, no recollection of ever buying it, and I thought that would be a great thing that I could attach my trees to, so it can sit up on my display. I do pop them up on some cardboard as well, just to lift them off and give that feeling of the trees being in part of the forest. And I just love how this turned out. So the reason I went with, I'm going to sidetrack the story now. So the reason I went with these pastel-y colours and the pastel tones is I am very big on Christmas decorating. I plan my Christmas decorating months in advance. I'm already, probably thinking about next year as I'm talking out loud right now. And I've got sort of 2 sections in my house. I have a section that is very traditional colours, so the greens and the reds and the golds and things like that. And then at the front of my house, I've got just, a lounge room, and it's quite contained and quite intimate, I guess. And so I create that to being a little bit more of Scandi type things, so wood and candles and pastel-y colours. So my tree sits in this room, and it is got some dusty pinks and pale greens and silvers and golds and things like that. So it's quite untraditional when it comes to the colours. And all my statues and Santa things are all sort of those tones. And I really just wanted to enhance one of the display pieces that I have. And that's where I thought this colour palette from the watercolours was absolutely perfect. And I created all of the trees here by using that piece of pattern paper that I created at the very beginning. So I've created a border at the bottom there just with some leftovers, and the little bits that were cut-offs from the border punches, I've turned them into looking like tinsel or stranded lights around those trees. While I was making this, because I am not really someone that does a lot of what they call off the page or decorated quite pieces, I was a little bit worried about how it was all coming together because I'm certainly no expert. But I really love how it turned out in the end. It looks beautiful amongst some lights that I've got, and against some of the trees and things like that I've got on the shelf that this will sit on. So it was as simple as that. Now, just to finish it all off, I remembered that I had some wood veneer pieces that were mousse that I got in Sweden years ago when I travelled there for a Christmas winter. And I just added those in as if there's these gorgeous mousses around in the in amongst the forest. And I also found I had in my stash a Charms Creation tree as well, which is all handmade as well. And I thought that was just a lovely addition to the page, well, the display. Then I rummaged again through my stash and found some Cocoa Vanilla stars from the Joyful collection, and these were a great addition as well, just to add some more sparkle to my trees. And then I grabbed out a little bag of Pink Fresh little they're little jewel type things, but they're sort of a matte silver, and I did get these from in-store as well. Oh, I'm sorry, before I started recording this, I meant to work out whether there was still some in stock. But yes, I certainly got those from inside the Kitaholic store as well. And that pretty much finishes what I've pulled together here today. I have got the completed product, a little bit of the shelf that this is now proudly sitting on. As always, I will leave in the description box below all the details on where you can get the Kitaholic Kits. Each month they are chock full of pattern papers, ephemera, and all that sort of stuff. And obviously this is the mixed media kit for December. We hope you all had a wonderful festive season and you've had an opportunity to have a break. If not, I hope you've stayed safe and well, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.